Jerry. Hi, Caroline. How are you? How's your shop doing? Super happy for you. The beginning of many more successes to come. Feel it. Hello, Miss Jerry. I hope you saw I messaged you and I emailed you about a shipping error on my part. So hopefully you got that. If not, I can resend. But happy Friday, guys. I am here for it. So we're going to be doing a fall wreath today, and we're going to be basing it on, I actually just made a design, and I had made a like super casual bow for it, but then I was like, it just didn't click. So I want to make this wreath based specifically around the colors of the bow, and I want to show you the ribbon and the colors because I think it's a really cool color scheme. It's a tad non-traditional. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Rita. Hey, Amber. Amber, how are you doing? Oh, boy. Let's see. So, we're going oval. I know, Dawn, there was a time where I was so fearful of oval, but for fall, I love it because I love taking like the pumpkin and just putting it in the little like nook. So this is the ribbon that we're going to be basing things on. And even though I said I wasn't going to shop anymore, I did some shopping this week. And if you look on Craft Outlet's site, it's not this, but for winter, they have this soft blue, white, and like almost like eucalyptus hollyberry theme. And I think it's gorgeous. I actually made, I'll show you the wreath I made yesterday. It's the same concept, same color scheme. I think it's gonna be really popular for Christmas. So you guys tell me what you think. And I'm not married to this bow placement yet. This is kind of like, I'm gonna list it with and without it. But so we've got all like the soft, kind of like frosted looking eucalyptus, white pumpkins, obviously that won't be for winter, but white berries, and then getting back into the blue-based greenery. It's like all I've used this week. I love it. I don't know. I like kind of had been done with it and I had to bust it back out. So yeah, I thought this was kind of like a unique spin. And again, it could be with or without the bow. I don't know. I kind of feel like because the bow is, the only thing that bothers me about the bow is that since it's wired, it's a little on the stiff side, but also in the long run, that's probably for the best. So yeah, I was trying to do some like different stuff this week and I really have been enjoying it. Hello, Dee. Hello, Andrea. Hey, from Ireland with your granddaughter, Sadie. Hi, Sadie. And I love Ireland. My daughter was just there. She wants to move there. She wants to leave her mother because she loves it there so much. She flew into Dublin and stayed in Limerick. So I don't know if that's anywhere near you, Sadie, but that's where she was. And she had an amazing time. Did not want to come home. All right, so let's get into it. Our girl Andrea has had a long week and she is looking to wind down her week with us ladies. So I know we're always having a good time with her, but let's show Andrea some extra love today. Thanks, Amber. Yeah, I did like a pink one. I don't know, doing different things. And I also went on, Craft Outlet and bought a few of their like pumpkin picks. And sometimes I feel like that's kind of a waste of money because you could do it yourself. But then I was like, I think I'm just going to get a couple of these picks. And then I think I already have like the florals that would go with it. So I got a few picks that have like the velvet pumpkins. I think some were mauve and some were like a cool color blue. And then I also found corresponding ribbons. So, you know, as much as I say I'm going to shop with what I have, I'm going to try and merge the two, use what I have, and then get some inspo with some new product. So that is on its way. Andrea's project is still in the works. We are taking a bit of a design turn, so we have to source some materials. So if anybody knows, so Andrea loves orchids, okay? And she loves cascading orchids. So I'm trying to find some that are not Real Touch. Like Real Touch is amazing, but it's really not meant to be outdoors for the long term. I didn't know that when I first started using it, but it doesn't wear well over time. It's totally fine indoors, but not outdoors. So really everywhere is selling Real Touch. So then, and I haven't like looked on Amazon yet, but pretty much almost all of the stuff from Pioneer was Real Touch, except for like one. But we're looking for two. One is like a light pink, and then the other one is like a cream, I think I'd say, Andrea. I went to Hobby Lobby, and most of theirs was Real Touch, and then the white ones that they did have, they were just like really, really tacky. Like I was like, could these be blended? And I'm like, no, they were just like glaringly ugly. So the hunt is on. I haven't checked Michael's yet. I don't have a ton of faith in them. I don't know why. I just feel like their quality isn't as good as Hobby Lobby's. So if Hobby Lobby didn't have it, then I don't know. Yes, you need the orchids. You're southwest of Ireland. Do we think they have good orchids that aren't Real Touch? That's what I want to know. So I'm really not stalling, but I did want to show you guys. I've never seen these things sold in person, but the jewels, okay, like I see these on Etsy, and I think they're like $15 each. Oh, I haven't checked, so you know what, like that's, okay. All right, I'll check. Because I do have, like, my like, black orchids, or they're not black, they're almost like a deep purple. Those I love. It's just, I don't know about Real Touch, but I'll look. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm snubbing them. They must be on my list. So, yeah, Hobby Lobby had these, and they're half off. They're $4. Like, these in swags, they go for a lot of money. They had some pink ones. They were more rose gold, so I didn't get those. But I do have everything dialed up to do our white Christmas wreath based around the sign from TMI. Like, it's so girly and so glittery. I can't wait to do it. I actually don't think I'm waiting on anything except for my butt to get in gear. But, like, I found these. Like, I said I wasn't even going to go look. And then I was like, oh, give me all the girly stuff, please. Please, please, please. So, yeah, I've been doing a bit of shopping. I can show you more of my haul at the end if you want, but if that's not what you're here for, I understand that people's time is valuable. I mean, like, these, so many things. Andrea, I don't know that you're going to I don't know if it's going to be your style. But, of course, and I have a feeling that it tweaked in a way I do think you'd like. I think for what I'm doing, I'm not 100% sure, but obviously, girl, whatever you want, you know you get. Yeah. I mean, Andrea's entryway is covered. So, I mean, her flowers are obviously going to wear better than some. Oops. But I think even like the moisture exposure, I just think it could mean trouble, and they're expensive, and I worry about like somebody coming back, not somebody, I mean, really anybody, although Andrea's somebody special, but I don't want somebody to spend all that money for real touch stuff and then have it not pan out. Like, it's beautiful, it looks so real, but also, you know, is it going to last for her investment? Oh, Amber, you just gave me major anxiety. They sell out. Oh, that thought crossed my mind because I did not know they were ever sold in stores. And I went to go berserk, and then I was like, don't do it. Oh, Amber, you cost me so much money. So much money. So we're going to start framing this out, okay? We're going to do blue-based. Again, it's just like, it's where my creative heart is this week. So we had to bust out the ficus again. Of course you love being special. You're always special, Andrea. Always. Yes. So I finally did my entryway yesterday. I took my wreath from last year, and I love my wreath because I made it with Coco DeVille, who he is the guy who does all of the Kardashian spoofs on like TikTok, and he's on Instagram, but TikTok is like his main thing. And he's in Australia, and he wanted to do a wreath workshop so bad. And Australia is like a 15-hour time change, I mean. So I think we did it, it was like, I don't know, 9 in the morning for me and like 10 or 11 at night for him. And so we did them together. And so it's a super special wreath for me, but I wanted like, I needed a bright pop. I was just craving the pop. And the ones we made last year were a little bit more on the, what's the word? Monochromatic side. So. Oh, I know. I agree. A lot of, I'm like telling you, like people in this group, they're on fire with their fall stuff. And actually, is it Sammy who has already started for Christmas? You overachiever. I've got so much fall stuff to work through, and workshops start next week. So this week my husband was out of town, and so I got like so much done. I was so focused. All right, starting to go a little heavy here with this. So I guess they could be used as ornaments, those jewels, but I often see them like nuzzled into a swag. So again, we're going to be basing this on this color pattern, and I have to say, I got these blueberries at Joann's. These things are money. I mean, I found them in person. I don't know if they have them online, but you'll see when I break these down, you get a lot for whatever these cost. So full price was $13, so you know they're probably like $6.50 at most. But these are actually the best I found. I have been buying from Craft Outlet. They're blueberry picks, and I thought those were good. These are even better. Now I'm getting blueberry anxiety. So I'm just cutting this down. So what have people been working on? What are you up to? Tell me. Andrea says she hates when her husband's out of town, but then when he's there, she can't wait for him to leave. So I'm half like that, except I just love when my husband goes out of town. So my husband's name is Harry. I call it a haircation. And it basically means like I'm gonna be eating real good, like lots of seafood, filet. Like last night I had filet mignon, all reality TV on all the time. What else? I was going to bed earlier. I had like and again, I was like super productive because there was one less person to like clean up after. Riley came home for one night, so that was nice. I made her a special dinner. I made dinner for my parents. My mom had me do her front porch doing like urn drop-ins, so like that was a fun project. She gently reminded me pretty much daily that she would like it done. So I'm actually going to try making another set of urn drop-ins for fall. I made ones based off of a photo that she wanted, but I'd actually like to design my own. I don't know if you've seen like Ashley from Three Little Greenwoods. She's been making them for years. She told me what to buy, like seriously, at least a year ago, and I just had never done it. I don't know why. Like she uses spray foam like all the time, and now I can see why. It's an awesome product. Yes. So I know I want to get on this like lantern swag or even like the mailbox swag thing. It's not as like popular up here. What part of the country are you in, Amber? I feel like I don't know if you're in like the Georgia Carolinas area, but like my mom uses them, and like I'm actually gonna make some, or at least bows for her lanterns on her stairs. But yeah, it's not as big here, but they're so beautiful. I don't know why they're not done more. Diane, you're doing football wreaths. It's definitely, yes, football started last night. I know my husband's like, are you watching for Taylor Swift? I'm like, no, I'm watching the Real Housewives. Although I do love fantasy football. My league has started up, so I will be watching some football. All right, so I'm not going to glue these yet, but this is kind of the idea I'm working with, and this is why I'm digging like the oval look this season. Hey, Lori from Oklahoma, how are you? I'm guessing you're still dealing with the heat. Things are cooling down here. And oh, I got these off of Amazon. You know how hit or miss things are, but like I paired these together and they are a symphony to me. Super hot, yeah. We're getting like, today's 73 and I actually was dressed for fall, but I changed because it started getting hot running around. And I have my new jeans on, and I asked my mom what she thought, and she's like, what'd she say? Well, first she said they're okay for indoors, and then she said they're not doing you any good. But they're so comfy, so gotta love your mom. They're never gonna mince words. Never, never, never. And for the night that Riley was home, I looked over and she was like sitting in my chair wearing my sweatshirt, and she had on like a messy bun and glasses, and I was like, I thought it was me. And as soon as I said it out loud, of course, the sweatshirt came off, and she made sure she looked nothing like me. Kids are so fun. Nice. Okay, so Amber is running a sale and doing free shipping. And it is working. And I will say, for Labor Day, I ran a sale, and also I did an email blast. And I don't know if you have email lists. I think I undervalue them. But every time I do an email blast, I at least get some sales. Maybe not, I mean, maybe even if it's only one. But, you know, when you're having like a lull, August is typically like just a slower month in general. It's good to just kind of like generate some of that stuff. I'm going to pull this pumpkin out for now because I know I'm going to drip glue on it. Yeah, I was going really heavy with the maple leaves, and then I think actually Andrea had sent me, it is Andrea, she'd sent me some really beautiful sample photos, and I was like, ooh, you know what, like, I do like that shift as well. You know, you want to have like a variety of things going on. All right, so enough with my yapping. Let's get designing. Let's see if that's a good view. All right, so pumpkin's gonna come to about here. You know what, actually, I'm gonna leave this in. I'll glue it after, but have to be careful. 'Cause sometimes glue on these things, they'll peel right off, and then sometimes, and actually, why is this not on wire? Sometimes it pulls the coating off. Yeah, I like doing the wire so that we have the flexibility. That's the whole purpose there. Put this in. And we'll leave that kind of out at an angle. Okay. So I want to mention something that a member had happen to them this week, and I'm not going to say who just because this is a public video and not my story to tell. However, a very talented member had a purchase from somebody who it started off with asking about like sales and coupons and, you know, da-da-da. So the sale was made, and I won't even get into all the details because, again, I want to keep that stuff private. It's not my stuff to tell. But basically, the person came back and said that it wasn't like the sale item was not the quality shown online. And so when the member asked for a photo, do you know that that person swapped out materials, like, and put in cheap materials? So it's just a warning. You know, we think that, you know, especially on a place like Etsy, it's such like a loving community, but things can come up and you just want to keep your guard up. And I guess when I'm still shocked. I mean, honestly, to that member, like, I wish I could like track that person down and just like shame them like to no end, because I'm so disgusted somebody would do that. That's so weird. There's a K in the glue. I wish I could show you because I have no idea how that happened. So weird. I'm going to show you. I'm going to take this off. This is not going to be a great view. Hold on. Where are you pointed? Can you see there's a K? Hold on. There's a letter K in there. Like, I didn't do that. Weird. The glue gods are advocating for me. Yes, it's a horrible, horrible person. And honestly, bad things happen. Karma's gonna get that. Karma's a B, and that person's a B, and I can't wait for it to get her because she deserves it. Yeah, so Harry wasn't supposed to come home until tomorrow, and he's just in New York. It's like, it's such an easy flight. And I was like, well, I mean, I could see me scheming to stay an extra day, but I was like, why are you staying on a Friday night? And then I was like really enjoying this week, and now he's coming home tonight. And I'm like, why didn't you ask me? Because I had big plans. And by big plans, I mean like wine and rom-coms. So yeah, now he's coming home early. I know. Everybody's on the same page. It's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous to do that to a small business owner, to think that that's okay. Like, to even think of it to me is gross, but to carry it out and send a photo of something that you have, like, I don't know if she recreated the whole thing or if she just threw in some cheapo stuff, and she, I think, purposely photographed it poorly. But yuck, 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 yuck on her. Yeah, Harry's coming home early now. I did it to myself. Last night, after the Housewives, for some reason, my TV like rolled into the movie Fall Guy. And I'm totally dating myself here, but does anybody else remember that show about the stuntman, the Fall Guy? Because the movie was so cheesy, but it totally was nostalgic for me. And I love, I mean, I like cheesy movies. Oh yeah, that K, that's so weird. I did not do that. I don't even know what, it's still actually like there on top, so maybe somebody's looking out for me. Our washing machine went this week, and so, you know, Harry was like, let me look online. And I'm like, I can go and pick out a washing machine. Like, Lord knows you're not going to be the one using it. And the guy at Home Depot that helped me, he was the sweetest man ever. I really think he was like an angel. He was a little older. He is an artist. He he uses like an electric wheelchair, but oh my gosh, like he like is, it's just the same as Bruno walking. Like he gets into like the tiniest little spaces, and he was just the nicest guy, and I absolutely like adore him. Like we swapped Instagram handles, super talented, and I just love talking to him. When I left, I'm like, thank you so much. I got a washing machine and a new friend. And he's like, I like that. And I was like, I think he's an angel. And I don't normally think stuff like that, but he was so nice. Yeah, I wonder if people can be reported for scamming. Because I know, like, sometimes I've heard of, like, people who use other people's photos. And sometimes it's, like, obvious. Like, a wreath will look like it's humongous, and then somebody will get it delivered to them, and it's, like, yay big. You know, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. What's their angle? Why am I struggling here? Sorry, guys. Yeah, it was really interesting because we talked for the longest time, and like I'm like an ambivert, so like I really have to be, it's not like me to talk to strangers for like a super long time, but I really just really love talking to him. And I loved his art. He's super talented, and we were talking about how like when you overthink things, how it's like not as fun. And he was saying how when he does like sketches, and he's like, you know, I struggle because I want them to look good from the beginning. And I'm like, but you know there's a recipe. I'm like, I know you have a recipe. Like that's how art works. There's like a recipe there. And he's like, you're right. I just need to trust the process. I'm like, yes, trust the process, muscle memory, all that good stuff. It all applies to like so many different things. Such a cool guy. And I was telling him that, you know, like, so our washing machine now, and I hope this isn't totally, this could be boring the crap out of you, I'm sorry. The washing machine now, like when we bought this house, we bought like all, you know, new appliances, and they were like fancy, and they did all these things, and you know, you could like put your smartphone up to it and call the place, and basically like the appliance would tell the company what was wrong, and nobody knows how to fix them. Like the people who service these things, like they would have to like, because one of our like appliance repair people, they're like, we would have to take a course every single time like all this technology comes out. So I told the guy, I'm like, I'm not looking for anything fancy. I don't want the technology. I just want something like the washing machine that my parents bought in like the 80s that still is like working like a charm. I said, that's all I want. So he's like, well, I said, you know, I don't do my husband's laundry. He has to have it sent out. And he's like, why? And I said, because he and my daughter used to do like a thing where instead of putting their laundry away, they would mix it back in with their dirty clothes. And I said, I got so fed up with it that I just stopped doing it. And he's like, oh my gosh. He goes, I can't believe he's alive. I'm like, yep, I can't either. But that is the solution, is that he has his laundry sent out. And Riley has to do her own too. Hey, Deborah. Good evening. All right, so Lori is saying what the scam is. I have to say, they request to pay me right away. Yes, okay, Lori, that has been happening to me through Facebook. Somebody says that they need something like right away, and then if you don't answer them, they're like, hello, hello. I just delete those things. I don't know what it is, but those started up a few weeks ago, and there is a scam there. I just don't know. I don't know what the end game is. Also, like if anybody does Poshmark, as soon as you list something, you get like a series of messages saying, I can't see your photo. Someone was like, can you send those photos to my wife, Nathan? I'm like, well, there's a problem here. So yeah, if something doesn't seem right, I just leave it alone. And honestly, actually, like for one of those people who was asking, like, is this still available? I need this right away. The item had sold, so I actually like hustled and remade it, and then it was a scam, and I was like, oh, you son of a gun. Son of a gun. Thanks so much, Deborah. Yes, we're basing it around this ribbon, and I'm pretty sure the ribbon, it's TMI or Craft Outlet. I don't know which one, but I am like really loving it. I'd love to see something with like bittersweet berries too. I do love those as well. But yes, these blueberries, like, can you see the quality on these? You never know with Joann's what you're gonna get. These are better than any wholesalers. Yeah, also if somebody wants to take it off of Etsy. One, I think Etsy, I mean, I don't really know how they would catch you. Like once I have clients, I let them know I have a direct website, but when they go to buy off of me, like if I make a sale, I don't say like cancel and go to my website, because that's a big no-no. So what I let people know, like if someone just wants to Venmo me or something, I just say for bookkeeping purposes, I really can't, because in all actuality, like if I had, you know, local people buy from me, I used to let them do it that way, and it really did throw off my bookkeeping. So, you know, it's just, people need to understand, it's even though we're a small business, or if we're just getting started, we're still a business and we need to have our stuff in order. Like I wouldn't go to Target and be like, you know, hey, do you mind if I like pay you through Facebook? Like that's just not how it works. It's your shop, it's your rules, and people can take it or they can leave it. That's okay. Somebody who doesn't respect your shop policies and your reasoning is not somebody that you probably want to be dealing with anyways. Sometimes those red flags, you don't want to ignore them, because it's just going to get worse. Red flags pop up very quickly for a reason. Bruno. Yeah, I mean, I have a real estate agent that it's just, she's so busy, so I let her Venmo. Oh, I gotta bring Bruno in before he rips the window. Mind your own business. Come on, Bruno. Come on. TV in around. Hello, Bruno. We call Steve FBI Steve because whenever anything happens, he feels the need to investigate. Like he just had to go see what Bruno's deal was. And Bruno's going to boot camp on Monday for 3 weeks. Talk about breaking my heart. But he has gotten very big. He knows it, and he is only 5 months old. So before he hurts somebody by accident, he's got to go to boot camp. So Mama's got to sell a lot of wreaths to pay for boot camp. I'll tell you that much. You know, as soon as I mess with this thing, I just... Sorry, guys. Shouldn't have done it. I had to show you my K and the glue. I just had to do it. So Wreath Makers Live, guys. Anybody considering it? I went in 2021, and back then, I mean, I think it was like maybe $400. This year it's $780, $779. I'm assuming it's the same format, so I guess I should have read it a little bit more thoroughly, but I believe it's 3 days of basically like maybe even like 8 a.m., maybe 8 to 4 of all different designers. And I don't think they have their whole lineup set up yet because Julie was looking for feedback. But like, it's all the people you know and you love. Like you're going to see Damon, Parker, Julie, of course. Damon and Julie are like the MCs. You're going to see Nick. You're going to see Dylan. Amy from BAM was there. There were so many people, and then there were people who also come and kind of do like presentations like on like the business side of things, like how can Pinterest help you, how can you use Canva. Melly Mel did one on how do you charge for workshops, and she gave out like materials on how she calculates things. Like it is like non-stop information that like totally pertains and like will probably fascinate you. It fascinates me anyways. So they are offering a payment plan, but if you do the payment plan, it costs like a few $100s. So it's not until July. It's July 30th of 2025. So I don't know. Of course, you know, I'm gonna get anxiety over like things selling out. So I don't know why it's on sale so early, because the space has to be somewhat limited. And if they're going to the same place that it was in Sugarland, I think is what it's called. And it was like right across the street from the Dallas market, but it was so hot I took an Uber, even though it was like literally half a mile. It was a million bazillion degrees there. And I'm pretty sure I was trying to keep my blowout going too. Gotta do what you can to keep that blowout going. Yes, so I think Wreath Makers would be amazing because it's going to have like an all-star lineup, and it's going to be very educational. But also, like, I feel like now I know the Wreath Makers, like, in the community. Like, you guys, you know, like, there's so many people that I would love to see in person. Like, I haven't had a chance to talk to Ashley. Poor Ashley has COVID, and, you know, you never know if it's going to be, like, an easy, like, or a mild strain or not. And hers is not mild, and she has had a rough week. So keep Ashley in your thoughts. But I would love to see Ashley. I'd love to see Ashley present, honestly. She'd rock that. She's so lovable and so talented. So yeah, so that is next year, 3 days. And when I went, I just kept to myself because, again, I didn't know anybody. But they had like an app that kept everybody in communication, and like a lot of the presenters would like get together in the lobby and do like fun things. Oh, and I think I mentioned this before. It was usually like 8 o'clock, and so my bra was off, and when the bra's off, we're done. So maybe I could make an exception and throw a sports bra around at that point and go down. But at least now I know that there's like other things happening to maybe, you know, keep myself together a little bit longer for it. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Hold a bunch of stuff. I say we go, guys. We go. They do provide you with, I think they provide you with breakfast. They definitely provide you with lunch. It's a good lunch. They have vendors there selling, I want to say Reliant Ribbon's one of them. They're also across the street at the Dallas Market, along with like D. Stevens. But D. Stevens, I don't think goes to Wreath Makers Live, but you can go see their showroom, which will totally like make you lose your mind when you see all of it in person and can like actually touch it. It's just incredible. But Reliant Ribbon also is very, very luxury without as much of the price tag to go with it. Andrea, go. Go, go, go. I mean, I wish there was something on like the East Coast that we could all do. I hope someday there is, but until that happens, I think this is like our best shot at it. And you get to like see everybody. Like, I had never spoken to Julie Samako before, and I was like, can I hug you? Because it was kind of like during like pandemic-y panic and all that, or like, you know, all like the rules and everything. And she was like, you can. And I was like, yay. So it's very accessible. Like, I asked Parker why I couldn't get my Shopify running, and it was because I didn't hit the activate button. And I was like, okay, this is the difference between people who know what they're doing and me. So, great resources. So yeah, I'm trying to wrap my mind around it because I just saw it today. It would definitely be something I'd have to do some goal setting and some saving on. But it would be a tax write-off. But again, you got to be able to justify it and have a plan there. My husband's like, but what is a write-off? I'm like, it's written off. It's total girl math for me, but I am starting to work with an accountant, so hopefully he can help me come up with a justifiable answer around that. Brian Lane Designs does a workshop. You have mentioned him before, and why don't I know who that is? I have not figured that out. If you could, is there something you could post in like the Facebook group? Because I get ADHD and like I forget and get distracted when I'm supposed to be looking for things. But is that a distributor, like a wholesale distributor maybe? Because if so, maybe I did look it up. I get an accountant because my husband does finance, which means when I ask him a question, he's just like, I did it for you. And I don't need that. I need to actually know what's what, you know? What is what? He's a designer. Okay. Yeah, if you can like link something in the group, I would love to see it. Because there's, like, I was looking at, like, people are all making suggestions on designers they'd like to see, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know all these names. I need to figure it out, because like I know Damon's got a huge squad of people, and I think I saw a lot of them at Wreath Makers Live. But yeah, I want to learn about more. I would love to see John Mark. That guy is incredible. Lori from TMI too. Like, I would love for her to show me hands-on like how to make those huge bows with one hand. It's insane to me. He's on Facebook. Okay, Diane knows him too. All right. Gotta get my act together. Oh, he also has an app. That's fancy. I'm thinking the app is probably like a membership service, subscription. Are you talking about bows? Reminds me. Oh, you want wait, what? Curled? Like streamers curled, or I think you're I'm guessing you mean like you know, like twirled or whatever. Like if a curling iron was used. Now Steve's crying to come in. Steve is on a shock collar that is not, it doesn't have the prongs in it, because he basically beat up Bruno, who is 20 times Steve's size. Yeah, like the curling iron. I can definitely do that. I'm excited to show you the elements that I got from Craft Outlets, because it kind of combines like the branchy aspect with like small pink florals. I think it's gonna add some nice texture. And that should be arriving any day now, because Craft Outlet really does turn things around very quickly. She's in England, but yes, what time is it there, Deborah? Oh. I know, Andrea, do you want to share what you're doing with the group? I never want to like overshare on something that's not my exciting news to share. Smarty Pants gonna be quiet. Let's see. Steve is going to get a beep. So Andrea is having a very long, stressful week, but for a very exciting reason, because that girl is testing for her PhD. And Andrea, I didn't even ask you what it was in, but hello, Dr. Andrea. All right, run. Easy. Bruno almost just took me and this whole easel out. Steve, you should have minded your own business. Biostatistics, oh my gosh. The sound of that makes my head hurt. I told Andrew this is why I make wreaths. So Andrea is going to have a PhD in biostatistics. And is that stuff done for like medical? Oh yeah, bio. Duh. Give us an example of what you would do with like the data. This is question number 3 of your test. Yeah, and the testing that she does is like that you have to complete to get your PhD is insane. Like it was many hours yesterday, but then like upcoming, I think she's got like 4 hours of like a home test, and then she's got a 4-hour like oral test. It's crazy, crazy. But how amazing will it be, and how proud of your girl's gonna be having their mama as a doctor. An awesome role model for them. Inspiration. Wow, Andrea. Postpartum suicide and ideations using machine learning. Is that rate high? It obviously must be, right? Or higher than it should be. So it's prediction of postpartum suicide attempts and ideations. I know, because like postpartum is just one of those things where like sometimes you need someone else to be tuned into that. Like I remember going to my like a follow-up visit, and my doctor said, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm doing good. I just wish like my husband and my daughter would move." And she was like, "Oh yeah, when you want to give away your baby, you have postpartum." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because I didn't feel like I had postpartum. I was like really happy with Riley, but I was just like, yeah, it's probably, I mean, he's my ex-husband now. It's probably not. I probably really did want him to move. That might not have been postpartum talking, but obviously I love my baby girl. So she was like, you need some medication. Let me just take a step back here. I need to do something with this bow. Very high in the US. How devastating that would be for all involved. I mean, Andrew, I think at this point we know I like literally don't have a filter, but I do think it's good that it's on people's radar a lot more than it used to be, and that mental health is not stigmatized like it once was. I need more of these blueberries. I love them. Yeah, so blue-based greenery this season. So the lampstand that I'm using here is from Hobby Lobby, but the stuff from Craft Outlet, it's much more like, oh, I didn't use lambsy on this. I used it on the other thing. It's more gray, and the stuff from Craft Outlet is like more green. It's like more fresh. I've been crushing on Craft Outlet this week. Yeah, working with kids in group homes, like that's what my agency does. There's just so many things people are dealing with that I'll always be grateful for that job, because I think that a lot of people don't realize like what others go through. Like I think I would have been sheltered from that if I didn't see firsthand what other people are dealing with, and you know, the love and care that they need to manage these things. I think if I had one more white dahlia, either that or else I'm gonna have to move somebody. Let me see. Bruno. Can you guys see him? I don't know if you can. Do you want to come over and say hi? Hi. Here, let's see. There's no way I can pick you up. Come here. I know I'm always telling you not to get up to see Bruno. He's a full-size dog. He's a full-size dog. He's 5 months old. All right, so I don't have another dahlia, so I am going to have to pull this out and adjust these two. I'll do the Sherpa under glue. He is a moose. He is a moose, and he knocks everything over with his giant blockhead. He just has no clue. And I mean, honestly, like, I don't know where the time went, but he's so big. But like, really, should Steve be beating him up? That's craziness to me. All right, I just lost a good chunk of that stem, but let's see if we use this stem up here. All right, we'll make it work. Yeah, Steve is like 10 pounds of rage. He looks like he is, Riley likes to poll how old people think he is, and usually people think he's like 9 because he's so gray, but he's only like 4. It's like pure rage has aged him. Hey Leslie, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, I don't know. I look at photos and I'm like, I can't believe how huge he is, and he's got a ways to go. My husband wants to like breed him, which wouldn't be, we obviously don't have the hard end of it because whoever has the mom dog has the, has all the work to do after. But like his dad, his stud fee is like $3,500. That's a pretty good paying gig, and it's probably not the worst job in the world for a boy dog. Bet you didn't know we'd be talking about stud fees here. So Caroline, with your first order, did you, like, was there some follow-up? Did you get any feedback from your customer? Fill this little void in these. Do you guys like the color of these poppies? Because I absolutely like adore them. They are orange, but like they've got a yellowish, like just like this vibrancy to them that I'm loving. You always hold your breath when you order something on Amazon, but I had bought, I think they were like called buttercups. They were something that I bought in person at Joann's, and then Joann's didn't have them, and nowhere else seemed to have them. So I took a gamble and it paid off, luckily. You got 4 orders in 4 days? Is that what you're telling me? I am waiting for an answer on this one. Caroline! Ah! Oh my gosh. I'm like turning red. I'm so happy for you. Baby. Ugh. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm so sorry when I do this. Ugh. Caroline went from having no sales to 4 sales in a week. I am so happy and so proud of you. That's amazing. It's not, don't even start with that, because Caroline, when I looked, you already had everything in place and your designs are on point. So don't ever give any of that credit away. That is 1,000,000% you. And I'm so happy for you. And I think you had said you were thinking about close. Am I wrong? Did you say you were thinking about like closing it, or is that somebody else? Because it had kind of like I know it was a new shop. Andrew, I'm just a baby. I'm a baby. I'm just. That's so awesome. Caroline, why did I have to ask you that? Why weren't you telling us that? That's not, because that's not bragging. That's sharing a win, and that makes everybody feel good. And it tells people a message that, like, you hang in there, and the right customers will find you. And they are, and that is amazing. And you are absolutely in the algorithm if a newer shop is getting that level of traffic in such a short period of time. So I don't know if you're selling duplicates. What's sold? Were they the same thing? Oh my gosh. You were feeling discouraged and now it's taken off. And now I bet you feel like I always talk about like when I get really excited, I feel like the Kool-Aid man and I just want to like punch through walls because I'm like, yes, this is it. Like this is why we're doing this stuff, guys. It's like, are we gonna get rich? Like, I don't know. It'd be great if we did, but like we're doing what we love, and when other people like when they get what we're doing and they accept and they embrace it, it feels like $1,000,000. So I am like so happy for you. Oh, I feel like the Kool-Aid man on your behalf. Like I want to like kick something down right now in a good way. In a good way. Yep, share your shop name. And for anybody in the group, I did run through like a review of her shop because there was just so many like awesome things. So thank you, Caroline, for letting us do that. Oh, it's Sweet Caroline, isn't it? Okay, so 3 fall wreaths, 1 Halloween wreath sold. Just all of a sudden, it received tons of views. Oh. So Caroline, ooh, I have to think this through, but there is a way to see how traffic got to you because years and years ago, I had like this, I think we're pretty much done with this. I think I'm just yapping at this point. Years and years ago, I had this succulent wreath, and all of a sudden it had thousands of views, like thousands of views within like a week or something, like which, and I didn't have thousands of views on anything, so it was really strange. And somehow I was able to route it back to YouTube. And once I routed it, and that, so there's some information in the stats on where your traffic's coming from. So I would look at that. When I get off this, I might actually go and look and see because it would be great. There's a chance that somebody has shared it, like that you are on somebody's blog. So for me, it was Amy Landino does a vlog and she has like 400,000 followers. And in 2020, she had, I know I keep adjusting this, I'm so sorry. In 2020, she had a vlog and it was like 20 goals for 2020. And one of them was she was a new homeowner. And so she wanted a wreath for every season. So she happened to buy one of my wreaths. She put it on her vlog, she tagged it. And because she did that, thousands of people went and looked at the link. You know, people want to know where did it come from? What did somebody spend? Like all that stuff. You know, people are just, they're always going to be curious. So I really feel like maybe your thing is on somebody's like, on somebody's vlog or blog. And that would be huge because then you kind of like, you know where your target audience is because whoever that person is or like niche, like those are the people who are looking for you. And again, Halloween on Etsy is bigger than Christmas. I think that seems so crazy, but it's so true. If you look around or if you're like on Instagram right now, people are skipping fall. They're going like right into Halloween. I'm not a huge Halloween person because I'm afraid of like everything. Like I can't, I still think there's alligators under my bed. Like I there's a whole, you know, thing. I'm just afraid of things like that. They get in my head. So I'm just not a huge Halloween person. I like the fun trick-or-treating stuff. But like if you look at Jen from Lex and Rel Wreaths, she makes those huge, super scary things. She's gorgeous and her work terrifies me, but it's all talent. It's just, you know, again, I'm a baby about it. So it is interesting because you might be tapping into that market that is like huge on Halloween, which people spend money on Halloween. Drew hates Halloween. All right, so Caroline's saying a few things that may be due to finally sharing your Etsy shop with friends and family on Facebook, but none of the sales are from them. Andrea's already going to do Christmas. Andrea's been waiting for Christmas. So, Caroline, with you sharing it, yes, it shows Etsy, like if everybody, you know, goes and clicks on your link, it shows Etsy like, okay, people are interested in the shop. There must be a reason why. So let's show other people the shop. But for none of the sales to be from them, I think there's something else. I think that you have something organic going on and that it is not related to friends and family. It's certainly helpful to have them involved, but none of the sales are from them. And if none of them are like even referrals, then I mean, to go from like 0 to 4 in a week is really fast growth, like really, really fast growth. So something has happened that you deserve, you worked for it. And as I believe Amber said, I think, run with it. Like you've got it. People are telling you right now they want Halloween. So, you know, I would keep cranking out the Halloween decor. You know, if it's something that you're enjoying doing, of course, but your Halloween work is beautiful. So I'm so happy for you. Big group win. I think when one of us wins, we all win. So that you've made my day. All right, so this is our final design. I feel like I definitely did more talking than designing today. Not sure why, sorry. But yes, let me know what you think about like the non-traditional. I'm really kind of feeling like I want to step out of the box a little bit and do some different things this season. Do traditional too, but I'm kind of having fun like exploring with some new things. So, Leslie, does anyone do, okay, question for anyone who does dining room table arrangements. Is a 15-inch vase too tall? Not experienced and struggling. Andrea, so it's not tall enough for Andrea because she doesn't want to see anybody chewing. Okay, so like, let's see. So 15 inches. How wide is it? Because, I mean, yeah, 15 inches is going to block you. Usually if I make an arrangement, I try to keep it under a foot. So, I mean, you're talking like something yay high. I don't know how wide it is. And do they have it for you, or you don't have to ship glass, do you? Because I get petrified at shipping anything that's breakable. So 7.5 inches wide. And are they local? Like, is it something that you're gonna pass off back and forth to one another? You don't have to ship it, okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think my rule of thumb is usually the height is one thing, and then typically my width and depth are usually the same. So like I might do an arrangement that's 36 inches long, but usually it's like 12 inches high and 12 inches wide. I mean, it all obviously that's really just, I'm talking about a very specific design, but I would try not to overthink it. I would just start throwing some things in. Maybe you don't glue it at first if you're using foam. I'm thinking you're using foam. You know, don't glue it and get a few things in. And it's like anything else with the recipe, like get in that like little bit of structure. And if you're unsure of like the direction you want to go in, you know, look at some photos for inspo. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. I actually think floral arranging is easier than wreath making when you just like let it go. Like when I don't have expectations and I just do it, I find it to be incredibly relaxing. But if I go in thinking it has to look a certain way, I stress and I struggle, and then it becomes like not as fun and not as enjoyable as it should be. Oh, thank you so much, Stana. Stanistana. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. Well, Leslie, do share, please. Like, I love all these different things. Like all these different projects that we do. Like I thought doing the urns was fun for my parents. Um, that was something different. Let me see. Somebody's been working on like the funeral saddle things, which I think that's a great thing too. When I did go to Wreath Makers Live in 2021, Nick made one, and it was like basically something that you could sell to a funeral home, and then they could rent it to people. So if somebody could not afford, certain things for like their family's service, instead of them having nothing, maybe they pay $50 and they rent the saddle for the casket. Like that is something, it's not dark at all. It's actually a very beautiful thing to be able to offer to somebody that they have, like they get to say goodbye to their family with like all the dignity that they deserve. So like these unique projects sometimes I just think are so fun and special, and they don't come along that often. So I would definitely say like enjoy it. Ah, hey Modern Boss. This order 12-inch garland table. Oh my gosh, it's a big one. I am good. Teacher with her ruler. So Leslie, I think that you've got a huge order, which means you probably have a client that's doing very well, potentially like your perfect client. And I'm wondering if, like, for my mom who wanted like the urns and all those things, she saw something in like a Graydon Road, or she found that picture somewhere and it was like all decked out. So it could be that your client is somebody who like saw something in a catalog and so she wants everything coordinated. I would start with the easy stuff first, or not the easy, but the things that you're most comfortable with. I don't know if you're sharing photos with her. If so, I would say like take take whatever you're most comfortable with. Like maybe you show her the wreath first and you say like, what do you think? Are there elements in here that you like, you don't like, that you don't want inside your home? And let them give you a little bit of guidance. And yeah, I like to share work, and um, just especially when you're getting to know a client, just to make sure you're on the same page, because obviously you wouldn't want to do every single component of that order and then find out like, oh yeah, like I don't like carnations and they're in everything. So that is awesome. Leslie, like if you're like me, the more I overthink things, the harder it gets. So grab a glass of wine or tea or whatever like is relaxing, and just like enjoy this opportunity, because this could be one that this person's all their friends are going to see it. It could lead to pieces of that order. I gotta stop with the ruler. um it could lead to people who also want like the whole like soup to nuts experience. And then also, if it's seasonal, which I mean everything in some way is going to be seasonal, well, if you loved my spring, flip, like wait till you see what I have for fall. Like when people do workshops with me, I'm like, if you like fall, wait until Christmas. And I'm going to say this to you guys too, because I zip tie the bejesus out of everything. It's so fun. It's so easy. And so you want to encourage people that like, yes, this is like, it's phenomenal. Like I have a newer client who bought like a $2 million house, and somebody helping with that house saw that she had like a Marshall's wreath on her door or something like that. And she was like, listen, I got to be honest with you. Your house is $2 million. You've got a really bad wreath on your door. Like, let me introduce you to my friend. And so when I started working with this woman, I'm like, and I saw her home, which is insane. I'm like, you like her whole neighborhood, they're all like, they all take their entryways very seriously, but I'm like, you legit like have like the star entry of the neighborhood. And so she bought a spring wreath, and then she just hit me up for a fall wreath. And can I tell you, when I went there, she had out the mums, the pumpkins, the Adirondack chairs, the bench, the throw blanket. And I was like, yes, like that's how you want people to feel. Like, this is like, yeah, we can do this, but we can do anything. We can make this as big as you want it to be. And legit, her house is the star of the neighborhood. And I know she's feeling like $1 million because she has made her home like something that she's so proud of, and she's loving displaying it, and it shows. Like you get that vibe, like you want to sit on this woman's porch and just relax. Like it's not stuffy, it's not unwelcoming, like it's everything you would want an entryway to be. you know, if I had a $2 million home. But yes, yeah, I know, I do too. I do too. But it sounds to me like, Leslie, you've got a great in for an order like that. Yes, Caroline, I do housewarming gifts for a few real estate agents. And what I like to do is I like to always have something that's on hand so that if they're in a jam or if something goes wrong and like a closing falls through, they're not stuck with it. Like, but then also sometimes like they like to do the monogram. It kind of depends on like how high I think the clientele is. Sometimes they go all out and sometimes they want kind of like more of like a more general wreath that's, you know, like anybody would like, you know, like a white hydrangea wreath, like something that it's not too specific on their taste. Real estate agents are huge. So, you know, it's definitely great to market that. You know, I can deliver it. You know, I can turn it around in a day or two. I'll always have things on hand for you. You know, if they did like the monogramming is expensive. I, honestly, like, you know, for you to have everything, or for me to have everything on hand that's custom cut, it's hundreds of dollars to keep everything in stock at all times. If you had something local, which I feel like somewhere I saw like a local script, maybe it was Hobby Lobby. Like if you use a local store, then you don't need to have any of that stuff on hand. But of course, I chose to do the complicated route, so because I was really specific on my font. But I think real estate agents, that's huge, and I think housewarming gifts that are wreaths are just incredibly thoughtful. So, like, I bought some housewarming cards that they can use if they want, and again, I just make the process as easy, you know, as I can for them. So that's huge. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I am going to sign off. I'm going to try and do, I think, do my photos and get my listings up for the work I've done today. But this has been really fun. Caroline, huge congrats. Keep it up. We're all rooting for you. We're all happy for you and supporting you. Andrea, you got through your first leg of your test. You did awesome. So, girl, just like take a bubble bath and relax. Have your husband watch those beautiful girls of yours and just unwind. Leslie, you're going to do great. The only one doubting you right now is you, because that client has all the faith in the world, and I know you're going to do amazing, so don't overthink it, please. Deborah, thank you for joining us from the UK. I love that you're like winding down your day with us. That's cool. And yeah, Amber, as always, like you're just such like a huge part of this group, and we appreciate you. And for anybody that didn't make it to this and is watching on the replay, no, I missed you ladies, and I hope that I see you guys soon, okay? All right, bye guys.